everybody! Today I am going to be doing my February wrap-up. So my goal this year is to read 50 books, and this month I read 7, which is one more book than I read last month, so let's just get started. The first book that I finished this month is Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. This is the third book in the Harry Potter series, and I'm sure I don't have to explain anything about it to you because everybody has read Harry Potter besides me. Speaking of Harry Potter, can we just take a minute to appreciate my Harry Potter shirt? It says, "I solemnly swear that I am up to no good," which I believe is actually a quote from Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. And I gave this book 3 out of 5 stars. The second book that I read this month was Library of Souls by Ransom Riggs, and that was the third book in the Miss Peregrine's Peculiar Children trilogy. I did a full series review for that trilogy. I'll have that linked in the little icon in the corner. I gave that book 2.5 out of 5 stars. It was my favorite in the series, but I still wasn't super into this series. I don't know why, it just wasn't really my thing. The third book that I read this month was Smuggler's Run by Greg Rucka. I'm not 100% sure how to pronounce his name, but this is a Han Solo and Chewbacca adventure, and it takes place between A New Hope and The Empire Strikes Back. I've always been really interested in reading the Star Wars books, but I never really got around to it, and then I just saw this at Target and I picked it up and I really enjoyed it. 5 out of 5 stars. Now, for some strange reason, completely unknown to me, I was in the mood to read a romance book, so I went to the library and I picked up The Selection by Kiera Cass. Now, in no way is this book just a romance book. After I read it, I realized that there was so much more to this than just a romance. Basically, what this book is about, long story short, it's The Bachelor. 35 girls are picked to live in the palace, and then the prince dates them all so he can choose his future wife and queen. I really enjoyed this book. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. So then I read The Elite, which is the second book in the series. Read it in one day, 5 out of 5 stars. I loved this book. And then I read The One, which is the third book in this series, 5 out of 5 stars. Read it in one day. This book, I nearly cried at the end. This is pretty much like a trilogy itself. The 4th and 5th book in the series take place 20 years after this book ends, if that makes sense. When I finished this book, I nearly cried. I don't know why, but I was like really connected to these characters, and I just really enjoyed this series. And then the final book that I read this month was The Selection Stories, The Prince and the Guard, again by Kiera Cass. This is a bind-up of 2 novellas, The Prince and the Guard, obviously, I just said it. I gave this book 4 out of 5 stars. I didn't quite enjoy it as much as the series, but it was still a totally awesome book. So those were all of the books that I read last month. Leave me a comment down below letting me know what your favorite book was that you read in February. Mine was definitely the Selection series, just in a whole. I really enjoyed it. Please subscribe if you would like to see more of my videos. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I will see you in my next one. Bye! The first book that I finished this month, I gave it 5 out of stars. Yep, that makes sense.